Hello everybody, my name is Mars, you can call me MG if you would like, and today I have for you the first official TBR of 2025. It is crazy to think that January is already upon us. I mean, at the time I'm filming this, there's still a couple of days, but by the time you see this, we will already be in January in 2025. Absolutely wild. So with the new year, I am making a few small changes to the way my TBRs work. First change that you might have already noticed is that I will not be doing my wrap-ups and TBRs in the same video. Normally, I would wrap up the previous month in the first half of the video, and then the second half of the video would be my TBR, but I have decided for some change, I'm going to split them up. So you're getting my TBR today, and then a few days from now, I will have my December wrap-up. So you'll have to wait a little bit longer to see all the books that I read, but I am excited for this change. I feel like it's going to give me a little bit more time in each video to really talk about the books, which is the reason why I'm here. The second change comes to the format of my TBRs. So I will still be doing my regular TBR game where I have the Adventurer's Tarot deck, which isn't a tarot deck, but it's called a tarot. It's this whole thing. I've been playing this for the past 2 years, and the change that I'm making is that I will be pulling 5 cards each month instead of 3. I just feel like I can show off more of the cards that way. But before we get to that, I will be doing 2 other mini things for my TBR. The first is going to be picking priority reads from my 25 in 2025 list, which will be linked down below in case you haven't seen that yet. And then the second one will be talking about the book clubs that I'm in. So first is the 25 in 2025. To pick which books off my 25 and 25 I'm going to be reading in January, I have these little houses. So these are from a little advent thing that I got at IKEA, and it was hanging on my bookcase. Now I have washi taped them to the back of my TBR cart, so they're all just in a line there. And I wrote down all of my 25 books and series that I want to read and put one in each house, and each month I will be picking 2. I'm just gonna go down the line, and those will be the ones that I will be reading. So I know what you're thinking. 12 times 2 does not equal 25, it equals 24. I figure that there's going to be a few instances of me reading a book and then later on pulling it from the houses, because I'm not just going to only read the 25 and 25 that I pull here. I'm gonna try and read the whole list throughout the year. So if that happens, I will just move on to the next house until I have 2 books to put on my list. And then for the series, they were going to go back into the earlier houses so that I can loop back around. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, just let me know in the comments. I'll try to explain it better, but it makes sense to me. So I have the first house here that we're going to pop the bottom open and see what comes out. I don't remember any of the books on this list, if I'm being honest. It's been so long since I made that list and made my video and then put the little papers in there, so it's gonna be a surprise all around. But the first one is The Magicians. Okay, that's very exciting. I just filmed my entire physical TBR, and The Magicians is from my physical TBR, so it's great that I'll be knocking one of those off. From the second house, pop that open, and we have, oh, the Animorphs. Okay, so one of the series that I'm hoping to continue in the year. Not complete because there are so many. I believe I'm up to number 11. I will pop the cover up here of whichever Animorphs I'm up to, but this is actually going to go back in the first house because it is a series, and that way when I loop back around, I can get the Animorphs again. So that's pretty fun. Those are the first 2 books officially on my January TBR. For the next section, I don't have any fun games to play. I'm just going to tell you what my book club picks are. So I am part of the Nostalgia Train book club, and at the time of me filming this, the January pick actually has not been announced yet. I will maybe leave a pinned comment, that's the word I was looking for, with whatever the pick is when it gets announced. But for the Bujo Buddies book club, which is the other book club that I'm in, the pick is Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher, which I actually just read in September, so 3 months ago, not very long, and I don't really feel like rereading it, so I'm gonna count this one as read because I have read it just not in the month that it was the pick, but that's fine. So that was kind of a dud of a first time introducing this book club segment because we have one book that I've already read and one book that I don't know what it is yet, but we'll just move on to my card game. So here we have the deck of cards. This is the Adventurers Tarot Empress deck by Weirdworks. I am obsessed with it. The art is so beautiful. It is inspired by D&D. I've explained this a million times, so I don't really feel like explaining it all again. I think I did a dedicated video last year with all of the prompts, because there are 103 cards, and some of the prompts have changed from last year to this year, but I will still link that video so you get a general idea. But I will be pulling 5 cards from here, so let's just do here. We'll split it here so you can know that I'm not, like putting specific cards on the top or whatever. This is truly random. But we have the IV is 4, right? Yeah, 4 of Adversaries, the Blood Hunter, the 3 of Giants. Ooh, the Giants are scary because they indicate like the size of the book. The 4 of Giants is the scariest one because it's the highest number, so it's the most pages. But the 3 of Giants is still gonna be a bigger book. The 4th card pull for January is the Designer. Exciting. That's one of the like special cards because there's class cards and enemy cards, but then there's 3 bonus cards at the end, and the Designer is one of them. And our last card pull for the first month of 2025 is the Beast. Ooh, so I am going to consult my cheat sheet of prompts and pick out books to read for those prompts and come back and tell you about them. Okay, friends, I am back. It took me quite a while to pick out books, but I have done so, and I managed to fit 4 books from my physical TBR and then 1 physical book that's a reread, so I actually have a whole stack of books to show you instead of just popping up a bunch of covers. But let's just go through them now. So first up, for the 4 of Adversaries, my prompt is to pick a book that I'm scared I'm gonna hate. So I have gone with Georgie Summers and the Scribes of Scatterplot. This is an arc that I won in a Goodreads giveaway, and I'm scared I'm gonna hate it, and that this arc could have gone to someone who would absolutely love it, and so I'm just like very nervous. But I don't think I'm gonna hate it, I'm just scared that I'm gonna hate it, This is a middle grade fantasy that has to do with like writing magic, I believe, but it just sounded so good, which is why I entered the giveaway, and I was lucky enough to win. And so this is the first book from my card pulls on the TBR. Then we pulled the Blood Hunter, and being that this is a class card, I had 2 options, so I could either pick my latest purchase or a cover buy. And I debated with myself for a long time if a Christmas gift counted as a latest purchase, but I decided no, because I didn't actually purchase those books. But I have gone for cover buy, and the book that I picked was Measure for Measure by Shakespeare, which, yes, I would buy Shakespeare anyway, but I love this cover, and the cover is what convinced me to get this edition, because this is the new Folger library, and I did not collect them until I bought this edition at a library book sale a few weeks ago, and I bought another one at the same time. So now I guess I do collect the new Folger library editions of Shakespeare, as if I needed another edition to collect, but this is going to be so much fun. I like to find productions of the plays to watch as I read, and it's just going to be a nice, lovely time. I will spend the afternoon doing so one day, so that is that pick. Then we had the 3 of Giants, and this card means I have to pick a book between 401 and 600 pages, and let me tell you, so many books that I wanted to read were just under 400 pages. One was like 360, one was 380, there was one that was 387 pages, and I'm like, you couldn't have one more chapter to get you over the 400 page mark. So I did end up going for a reread on this, and the book that I will be rereading is Bitter Blue by Kristen Kishore. This is the 3rd book in the Graceling Realm series. So there's Graceling and Fire, which take place in different parts of the world, and they both act as prequels to Bitter Blue, like they're both directly connected. And I will be rereading this because one of my goals in 2025 is to finally finish out the series, because the first 3 books were published, and then like a decade went by, and the author was like, actually, I have more to say. And there are 2 more books after Bitter Blue that I never got to. So I will be rereading this and then moving on eventually. So that is this book. Then for the designer, the prompt is a comp title for a writing project. And I did fudge this a little bit. So the book that I have gone for is A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. This gigantic big boy. Over 800 pages. This is like 850 pages. So I do have some thick books on this TBR. But I'm considering this a comp title because my project Space Dragons, which I worked on in the spring of last year and have since shelved for now because I hit a huge writing slump, roadblock, whatever you want to call it, at the end of Act 1, and I just had no idea how to deal with it. I'm like, I gotta work on other stuff. So I've been working on other stuff, but one of my comp titles for that book is The Priory of the Orange Tree, which is the first book in this series. I'm using quotes again because it's like a standalone, and then this is also a standalone, and it's a prequel that takes place thousands of years before Priory of the Orange Tree. I have no idea. I genuinely don't know the timeline. I just know that this is a prequel, and it deals with dragons. I don't know if this one's also sapphic. I'm going to assume it is, just because that's what I'm hoping. But yeah, I guess I will be reading this big boy. Something just fell off of somewhere. I don't know. I'm ignoring it. Yeah. I'm scared, but oh so excited. I can't wait to read this. This was a Christmas gift. And speaking of Christmas gifts, the last card that I pulled was The Beast, which is a retelling of a fairy tale or mythological story. And so the book I will be reading is The Wild Huntress by Emily Lloyd Jones, which I'm assuming is a retelling of The Wild Hunt, which is an element of a lot of different mythologies. It's present in like Celtic folklore and German and Slavic folklore as well. And I know Emily Lloyd Jones has drawn from Welsh and Celtic mythology for her stories in the past, so I'm assuming that's what this is too. I really don't know. I genuinely don't know anything about the plot of this at all. I wanted to go in as blind as I could, just knowing that it takes place in the same world as my favorite book of all time. So, this was also a Christmas gift, and I'm glad that I managed to fit 2 of them on there because people spent money on them for me, and I wanted to get to them soon, so now I have, and this is the 5th book on the TBR for the cards. So here we have the 6 books on my physical TBR for January, and on top of this we have Animorphs number 11, which is gonna be so short. Those are like 150 pages max, and we have whatever the January pick for the Nostalgia Train book club is. I'm gonna put this down because, oh my god, I'm gonna break my wrist. That's so heavy. It's like just out of frame when it's sitting on my lap. That's so funny. This is a thick stack of books, but I'm excited for all of these reads. I think this is gonna be a great reading month. We're gonna start off the year with some great reads. Wow. 2025, guys. What a time to be alive. But that is the end of this video now. If you've enjoyed it, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.